Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's go ahead and answer all of your mailbag questions here. A lot of stuff still happening. Very fluid situation with the 49ers and their offseason. So we're going to go through and break down all of your guys' questions. Most of them centered around what we've already done in free agency and what we could still do in free agency as well. Starting with Jackie Guan asks, do you think the Niners will trade the 31st for a second and third rounder? Yeah, actually, I do think that they will. And this question was asked a ton here on our previous video where I asked you guys to ask me all the questions. And so I'll answer this one first. Yes, I think we should trade out of number 31 overall because we have number 13 overall, all thanks to the Indianapolis Colts and DeForest Buckner. Now, I know what you guys are asking, right? Well, we have 7 total picks right now. If we traded away number 31, what would it look like? What could a potential trade look like? Well, let's reference one that I've used here in the past. It's from the 2018 NFL Draft where the Eagles had just won the Super Bowl and they were sitting at number 32 and they traded out of the first round. The Ravens came up to go ahead and draft Lamar Jackson. Here's what the Eagles gave away, and here's what the Eagles gave away and received, and vice versa for the Ravens. The Eagles got the 52nd overall pick, the 125th overall pick, and a 2019 second, whereas the Ravens got the 32nd overall pick there in the first round, and then 132 as well. So it shows that even moving back out of number 31 is going to give you a decent amount of stuff here, as 52 is in the second round, 125 is in the third, and then of course a 2019 second is 2019 second. That's pretty good as it gets in terms of a 2021 second is what the 49ers could be looking at here. So yeah, I would 100% trade out of number 31. I think you can get your player, get whatever you need the most at number 13, whether that's another corner, a linebacker, a wide receiver, a D lineman, an O lineman, whatever the heck you want. Probably going to be a very good one there at number 13. Trade out of number 31, and then, spend your day 2 picks on whatever you guys want to do with that. Curious if you guys agree with this. Is ad break going right now? Answer the pinned comment down below. Should we trade away number 31? Would you be interested in trading away number 31? Let me know. All right, moving on. Jason Lutz asks, better move, top 3 wide receiver at 13 and Delpit at 31, or trade back and get a day 2 picks and maybe pick someone up in the mid to late first round. Yeah, I would go ahead and take a wide receiver at 13, and then, like we just said, trade out of number 31, and then spend a day 2 or second or third round draft pick on, a safety, I guess, if you want. Do we really need a safety, though, right now? Because Jimmy Ward did come back. We did go ahead and re-sign him. In terms of the wide receivers, there's some really good ones in this draft, and the majority of them are going to be there right around number 13, so you kind of have your pick of Jeudy, Lamb, Ruggs, Higgins, whatever you want to do. But going back to number 31 with Grant Delpit, that wouldn't be a bad pick, but it's just a matter of, do you need Grant Delpit? And honestly, when you see Grant Delpit's stats on your screen, he wasn't a great tackler. I mean, he's not a very good safety in terms of tackling in the open field, and that's kind of important for the position that he wants to play. Is he the best safety in this draft? Yes, but is he one that you just can't miss like Jamal Adams was for the New York Jets a couple of years ago? No, and that's why Adams went so early. That's why Delpit, of course, is going to go later on in the draft. You guys want to get Grant Delpit, though, like this video. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you would not mind the 49ers drafting Grant Delpit. I'm very curious how you guys feel about that one. Hey, Zeus asks, let's see, Isaiah Simmons, very simple, Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, sure, but he's not going to be there at number 13, right? And the 49ers really need another linebacker on this roster. You got to remember what they did last year. Dre Greenlaw, they went ahead and drafted, and he was pivotal in the 49ers, let's be honest, Super Bowl run last season. Now, again, Simmons, a beast. He's the best linebacker in this draft. He's one of the better linebackers we've seen in a very, very long time coming into an NFL draft out of Clemson, but he's going to be a top 5 to a top 7 pick. If he's not 7, he's going to go in the top 10. Like, the Niners would have to move up from 13 to go ahead and grab him. There's no way he will be there. So, yeah, I love Isaiah Simmons, but will the 49ers actually be able to take him? Absolutely not. And again, your 49ers depth chart, Greenlaw, Warner, and Quan Alexander are your starters when healthy. Probably the best linebacking core in the entire National Football League. Do you need to move up to go ahead and get Isaiah Simmons? I would argue no. Before we keep going, we're trying to get to 20,000 subs here on the 49ers Reporters. We are growing at a crazy rate, so scroll down, click the red subscribe button, click the notification bell as well. That way you're notified whenever we go live here. We did a live video last week. We're going to do more in the coming weeks. We always do mailbags, Q&As, all sorts of great stuff here, as well as the latest and greatest 49ers news and rumors. So go ahead and subscribe. Moving on here, how about Cold-Blooded Heel? He asks, with so many running backs on the roster, do you think it's worth trading Coleman, and what would the likely return be? Well, it's a great question. There is a ton of running backs on this roster. Someone is not going to make the opening day roster, right? In terms of, sounds like baseball, but in reality, someone's not going to be there whenever we hit day one of the regular season. You got Mostert, Coleman, McKinnon now, Breida, who they've tendered, and Jeff Wilson Jr. I think Coleman would be the odd man out. The question would be, what could you get in return? I think you'd have to wait to trade Tevin Coleman until someone has a running back injury in the offseason, which is bound to happen based on injury stats for the past couple of years. We don't want it to happen, but obviously, if someone's number 2 or even number 1 running back goes down, they could go ahead and pick up the phone, call the 49ers, and they'd probably give up a 4th or a 5th round draft pick. Like, he's not worth that much. Is he a good running back? Yeah, 100%. Is he worth, a 3rd or a 2nd? Absolutely not. It'd be a 4th or 5th round draft pick. But again, you got Breida, you got Mostert. McKinnon now is going to play, and if he's going to be healthy, he might even be better than Tevin Coleman. So yeah, I think that Coleman would be worth trading, and the likely return would be a 4th or 5th round draft pick. Now, if you guys are interested in some 49ers swag, there's a sweet new deal I wanted to pull for you guys right now. It's this awesome 49ers polo you see on your screen right now. It's like 30% off, under 30 bucks. All you gotta do, go to the link in the description box, chatsports.com/49ers polo. You can go ahead and check it out right there. Again, it's pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, so I want to share it with you guys. It also is 30% off, so go ahead and jump on that deal right now. Caliber, I guess I say his name, Caliber asked, do you think we should draft an O-lineman with one of our first-round draft picks? That's a tough one because there might be the best offensive lineman in the draft still available at 13, although I could still argue that one of the, maybe the Chargers or the Panthers or someone else could take a lineman in the top 10. So I guess if he's there, then sure. I mean, the 49ers offensive line depth chart to me still looks really, really good, and obviously they let go of Mike Person, but they're expecting Brunskill to go ahead and fill that role. They brought in Compton to be kind of that swing interior tackle. They obviously still have a School. I think you go other places. I think you could go offensive line, and I think as 49er fans, if they did that, we would have to be understanding and be like, okay, that's a future type thing, but I don't think it's necessary in the first round, at least this year with what the 49ers are looking at right now. Here are some of the best ones that are ranked. Jedrick Wills out of Alabama, Tristan Wirfs, out of Iowa. You got Becton, and of course, Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. All of those are going to be very high in the NFL draft. Thomas is very, very good out of UGA. I've done a lot of scouting on him. So it's more preference for the 49ers. They probably want to, talk to Joe Staley and see what his long-term future is. But I don't think they're going to worry about offensive line early. I think they'd rather go defensive line instead of offensive line at number 13 if they were going to do something really, really weird. Although, again, I think it'll be either secondary or wide receiver at number 13 based on need and what's available in the draft. Brian Solario, I think, says, are we going to be contenders this year? LOL, I have never been on your mailbag. Well, now you have. Welcome to the mailbag. Again, if you did not get on this mailbag, then go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned. That way, when we do the next mailbag, you can get your questions in. Yeah, the 49ers are easily a playoff team next year. It's an easy question, easy answer. Last year, they were fantastic. They were the best team in their division and the best team in the NFC. The NFC's gotten better. I mean, Brady coming into the NFC is going to make a big difference in terms of playoff seeding. But you got, 14 teams going to the postseason now. There are extra teams going for each conference. I think the 49ers are guaranteed to be a playoff team, and I think they're guaranteed to at least win one playoff game as well. The question is going to be, can they get out of their own division, which is a question we're going to answer later on in this video. But, I mean, 10 wins is probably the floor, and I think 14 to 13 wins is probably the ceiling. It'd be very, very surprising if San Francisco does not go ahead and make the postseason. It would probably take a catastrophic injury. It would take, like, Jimmy G getting hurt or Nick Bosa and D Ford going down. Like, it would take something catastrophic for the 49ers, at least with the talent they have right now, to not make the postseason. So, I'll ask you guys, even though I think we all know the answer to this. Will the 49ers make the playoffs this year? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. If I see any N's down below, then I know you're not a true 49er fan, because if you are a 49er fan, you understand how talented we are and that you should be pushing Y, because we are going to make a very deep playoff run, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, we'll do a couple more here. Marlon Abakara, I think is how you say your name. Excuse me for butchering everybody's names. What do you think fits Shanahan's scheme better? Mims, Lamb, Jeudy, or Ruggs? Oh man, Shanahan's scheme, I think, is fluid for any wide receiver, although I would argue, and I've said before, that CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver in this NFL draft. A lot of people say Jerry Jeudy. Some even say Shenault or Tee Higgins. No, it is CeeDee Lamb. I've seen CeeDee Lamb play in person many, many times while I was at Baylor, whenever Oklahoma would come to play Baylor. He's the real deal. He's really, really good. He should be the first wide receiver taken in this draft. Jeudy should be second. And then Ruggs will probably go third, although I think Higgins might be the third actual best wide receiver. Ruggs, of course, the 4 whatever speed is what's going to get him drafted higher than a lot of other players. I guess Ruggs could be a good fit because we need that kind of over-the-top burner on this squad. But if we're sitting there at 13 and Lamb or Jeudy is sitting there on the draft board, you would take them over Henry Ruggs because the past couple of drafts, think about John Ross, you know, speed doesn't necessarily translate to being a very good wide receiver in the NFL. You run a sub 4.5 and you're going to be just fine. You run a sub 4.3 and it's like, okay, you're fast, but can you actually be dominant in this league? The answer, recently at least, has been no. So Lamb's the best wide receiver in the draft. Ruggs makes sense in terms of need, but I think any one of these guys could be really, really good. Denzel Mims, I think, in the second round, could turn out to be the best receiver in this draft, besides CeeDee Lamb. He has the same exact measurables as Julio Jones. He had the exact same combine numbers, combine stats, the 40, the 3-cone shuttle, everything was exactly the same as Julio Jones whenever he came out of Alabama. Now he's the same size. I mean, it's prototypical Julio Jones, even though he didn't necessarily, show off that he's going to become Julio Jones. A lot of people are comparing him to a younger, inexperienced Julio. So don't be surprised if it's Jeudy, Lamb, Ruggs, or Higgins. Don't be surprised if Mims turns out to be the best receiver in this draft. Okay, yeah, we got time for one more. Owen Pressenhofer asks, this is a good one. Who do you think will most likely be our biggest competitor in the NFC West next year? I'd say either Seattle or Arizona. So first off, yes, you're right. It'll either be Seattle or Arizona. We've seen the Rams make moves that have completely hampered their offseason. I mean, they have very few picks. They have no draft money. They just sent Todd Gurley to free agency, and he was immediately cut, and they ate a bunch of dead cap money, and Jared Goff is getting paid a lot, but is he actually that good? I think the Rams are probably the worst team in this division. Now, what is that? Is that 8 wins? Is that 7 wins? They're still going to win football games. I mean, McVay's a very, very, very good head coach, and they do have a lot of talent on both sides of the football. Remember Jalen Ramsey, they was traded there recently. I think they're a 7 or 8 win team, but that's the floor of the NFC West. Arizona could be our biggest competitor. Remember last year, we beat them twice, but they were kind of the harder teams that we were playing. Kyler Murray's in his second year. Christian Kirk is in his third year. Obviously, you get Cliff Kingsbury in his second year, and they made some very huge additions. They got rid of a aging and useless running back in David Johnson and traded him for DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be the best wide receiver in our division. They got Devondre Campbell, the pass rusher, outside linebacker from the Falcons. They got Kennard and Jordan Phillips as well. They've had an excellent offseason. They got a lot of draft picks. They have money to spend. I mean, they might have had the best offseason out of anybody. Seattle's going to be Seattle, but they're not exactly, they're going to lose Clowney. Let's say that they lose Clowney. Excuse me, Russell Wilson is still fantastic, but I don't know if Russell Wilson is going to be enough to go ahead and overcompensate for their lack of weapons, their lack of a running game. We'll see what they do with that. I would think the Cardinals are going to be our biggest competition. I think you probably slate them in there as a 9 or 10 win football team and put us at 11 or 12 wins. I mean, much as I hate to say it, I'm a believer in Cliff Kingsbury and I'm a believer in Kyler Murray, and you throw DeAndre Hopkins alongside Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk. I mean, is that the best receiving core in the NFL? If it's not the best, it's one of the better ones that we're going to see. So the 2 games against the Cardinals, circle those on your calendar. I mean, that's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a lot of fun to see our defense go ahead and play their offense. Sherman and Hopkins have not played a lot against each other, a cornerback and a wide receiver. Very excited to go ahead and see that matchup. I want to know what you guys think. Who was our biggest competitor in the NFC West this year? Is it Arizona? Is it Seattle? Is it someone else? I just want to know what you guys think in terms of this. I think it's a toss-up between Seattle and Arizona, although again, I just laid out the ground reasons and the rules why I think that the Cardinals are going to be that team to compete with in the NFC West. We're probably in the best division in football. If you think about it, it's probably the most talented, if not the best division in all of football, at least right now, besides maybe the NFC South because Brady's there and the Bucs are going to be relevant. But again, the Rams are the worst team in our division, but they're better than the worst team in the NFC South, which of course will be the Carolina Panthers this year. There you go. I want to hear from you guys. Be sure to comment, answer all of my questions, and also, of course, give this video a thumbs up as you always should, because we're giving you guys the best content here in terms of our 49ers. All the time we have for today for the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. You know the deal, right? I know we're all stuck inside, but be safe, wash your hands, and enjoy the rest of your day.